Okay, welcome to Trails West by Chez,
Darleen.
Payton! People traveled west along the trails for land, resources, and trade. They would travel along the trails, and the trails normally would follow each other because that's the land they knew. During when they were walking and traveling the trails, they would experience things like dysentery and a lot of disease. And there was a lot of death from specific trails. And in those trails, they had different resources, and there was different factors on whether they would survive or not. Some of these trails include the Oregon Trail, California Trail, Santa Fe Trail, Old Spanish Trail, and the Mormon Trail.
Settlers and traders traveled west. Mountain men also did in order to obtain fur, and Mormons traveled for religious freedom and other reasons. Manufacturers, traders, merchants traveled for trade, market, and money. Pioneers also traveled for wealth.
Mormons traveled west because they wanted to be able to follow their religion and peace or in peace.
They also traveled for religious freedom because they were being prosecuted from other churches. Mountain men were fur trappers who overworked streams trapping small animals like beaver, meaning other fur trappers would have to move farther so they could make money too. They expanded the West for traders and merchants and trappers, providing more areas to work in.
Pioneers used the South Pass, which was through the Rockies. The South Pass was wide and less steep. It was also low, so snow didn't block it as much as it did compared to the other passes. William Becknell and his traders crossed the Santa Fe Trail, which was hot, and they ran out of water easily. Settlers went on to the Oregon Trail, which was dangerous because many children and their parents died along the way.
The Donner Party was a group of people who traveled later in the year, meaning when snowfall hit, they wouldn't make it to the place they wanted to go. They ended up surviving by eating each other. Their axle broke. It was the first month of winter and they ran out of food. Later, since they had to eat each other in order to survive, most of them would be dead. The role of women on trails are they were caretakers for their children, and most of the women who were on the trail were either heavily pregnant or, again, they were caretakers for the children. They would also be the ones that were cooking and the ones that were cleaning up after people.
Manifest Destiny was a time when people were destined to expand and get more land. The Trails West was also similar because people were moving west for land, wealth, and other resources. People were destined to move west the same way people were destined to find land in the Manifest Destiny.
Fun facts about Trails of the West. It's estimated that 350,000 people traveled the West. There were 6 to 10% of people who had disease when traveling the trails, such as smallpox, flu, measles, mumps, chlorea, and dysentery. The estimated 350,000 people, 30,000 died of illness, while 65,000 died altogether.